Yeah, sorry.
Perfect. So today I'm very happy to welcome Margie Burns on my hero show. Margie is the founder of Aviation Selection Consultants, which offers assessment, selection and development services to especially tailored to the aviation industry. She recently was nominated and won the All Stars Business Award of this year, 2018, in Ireland, and she also received an accreditation of Thought Leader in Aviation. And today I'm very grateful and honored to have her with me today, because we met a couple of months ago in Ireland in an event, and ever since we've been in touch, and she's really a great inspiration to me. Because of course of her success that we will talk a little bit about, but especially and above all for her mindset. We were chatting before this conversation. She really, to me, has a great mindset. She's a really kind person and always positive, and who's not afraid of obstacles. And I know you've had a lot of obstacles. So thank you so much, Margie, once again to be here today with me.
Delighted to be here, Claire. And yes.
Ok, donc je vais traduire rapidement. Donc aujourd'hui, j'ai le grand plaisir de recevoir Margie Burns, qui est la fondatrice de Aviation Sélection Consultant, qui offre du coaching et de l'assessment spécialement dans l'industrie de l'aviation. Elle est irlandaise. On s'est rencontrés il y a quelques mois et je suis surtout, ce que j'admire chez elle, bon, c'est bien sûr son succès, mais c'est surtout son état d'esprit, qui est pour moi vraiment l'état d'esprit du succès. C'est une personne adorable qui est toujours positive et qui sait comment surmonter les obstacles, et Dieu sait qu'elle en a eu. Donc je suis vraiment contente et ravie de la voir avec nous ce soir. So Margie, my first question for you will be, what's your big why? You know, what makes you get up every morning?
I look at every day as a new opportunity. Every single day brings a new opportunity to do something more, to have a great day. I wake up happy. I'm very lucky to have a happy disposition. I always have had that from a child, but I think we all have a purpose in life, and one of the things every day I ask myself, how can I be a better person? And I try and do something that I feel, well, maybe just edges me towards being a better person. Wow. And so I look for opportunities to achieve that. And some days you might achieve something towards that, and then you can destroy it by doing something else. But you've got to keep trying. And it's looking for the little opportunities and opportunities to do something that makes you smile and appreciate what's around you, whether that's a lovely sky or, you know, whatever, a nice smile from somebody, or just appreciate just the small things that we just take for granted. So, you know, one leads to another. Appreciating some of the smaller things leads to more of them happening, I feel.
Wow. Right. Yeah. Yes, donc elle dit qu'elle se lève tous les matins en cherchant une nouvelle opportunité. Elle est beaucoup dans la gratitude et se réveille. You said you wake up happy every day.
Yes.
Donc elle se réveille heureuse tous les jours, et elle se pose la question tous les jours, how can I be a better person? Ce qui veut dire, comment est-ce que je peux être une meilleure personne aujourd'hui? And you also said that you said maybe the opportunity can mess up, and then you've got to keep trying.
Yeah, and you've got to give yourself a break, you know? Okay. Don't beat yourself up over it.
Okay, yes. Et elle dit de ne pas s'en vouloir à soi-même, en fait, et de ne pas se dévaloriser sans cesse. All right, so how did you achieve? You told me that it's been 2 years that you started this business. Could you tell us a very brief shortcut about your background and how you came here?
I have a long history in the aviation industry. I worked for the Irish National Airline, in pilot recruitment. And then I worked for a subsidiary. And I guess I'm an opportunist. When there was an opportunity, I worked hard, really did a good job, but if it was an opportunity, I took it. So I took opportunities to travel. I took opportunities to, you know, maybe take a position that other people didn't, were afraid of. You know, I was lucky to be based in Singapore for a few years.
Yeah, you told me about that.
I, you know, basically threw myself into that job. I was sent there to recruit somebody, and I recruited myself for the job. And I learned so much about myself in a different culture and surviving in a very male-dominated industry. And, you know, I was responsible at the end of the day for about 120 men that were working on contract. And all of that happened. So sometimes being thrown in the deep end and just finding your way to, you know, swim to the top can be a good way, you know. You can't think too much, you just get on with it, you know. So, and
think too much. I think I won't translate anymore because I really want to have this time with you. I will translate then after for my French audience, because you just said you don't, sometimes you don't have to think too much and just do it, right?
Just go for it.
This is exactly what I realized, you know, in warrior camp. I realized how, because I thought I was a really taking action person. And then I realized how far I was from taking action that really are uncomfortable for me. And I realized it a few months ago. So this especially resonates with me when you say you don't have to sometimes to think too much about. Would you have an example that you could that you remember of something that you were terrified about doing, but you did it anyway?
Well, I suppose you know, I had a few incidents when you're dealing with contractors, and I got 120 on site in one place. And you know, they can sometimes gang up and all the rest. But I did have a political situation to deal with two guys that were on different sides politically, and I had to deal with a pretty nasty situation. But I kind of felt, well, I'm being paid to do a job, and they obviously believe in me, and part of me is saying, how did I get away with this for so long? That I can do this. But, you know, if I can keep it going another little while, all the better. So I think you have to look at what is going to be the worst thing that can happen.
What's the worst thing?
So, you know, and I think that usually gets me through any difficult situation. At the end of the day, you have to look on what matters and work with your conscience. If you consciously know that you've done things to the best of your ability, or you did things that are right and with integrity, well then after that, I don't feel responsible, you know. You just let it go and really hope for the best. And 9 times out of 10, that will be fine, you know. You've just got to throw caution to the wind and just believe that because you're acting with integrity and because you believe that things can turn out right, that they will, you know.
So I understand, and I hear you talking about integrity, or I suppose you mean be aligned with your values in a certain ways. Could you share with us what's really important for you in terms of values, for example?
Honesty, being fair. One of the things, you know, if I see something unfair towards somebody else, you know, and I hate confrontation, but I will be vocal. I will say, oh, you can't do that, or you can't treat that person like that, or, you know, so that will really get my back up, you know, if I see somebody treating somebody else unfairly. And I suppose in terms of values, that you know, I feel very lucky with the life that I've lived. I don't come from a wealthy background. I come from, you know, my parents worked hard, but we didn't have money, but we had a lot of love. Mm-hmm. And we had parents that, I suppose, maybe there wasn't a huge expectation financially. Mm-hmm. I didn't go to university straight away. I put myself through, well, the company that I worked for, I was very lucky. They paid for my education and I went on and did a master's degree. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I feel that in terms of values, you have to give things your best shot, really and truly, and be open to trying new things. Mm-hmm. And to learning, and we have to be open to learning. And I mean, I never stop doing some course or other, and I think that's really important, that we broaden, and whether that's playing music or a language or whatever it is, that we try and develop ourselves. And you know, so that's important to me. But I suppose one of the biggest things is, you know, when I say I'm privileged and I've had a good job and all of that, that if I have more money that's, you know, not being used or whatever, that there's somebody else that can benefit from what I don't need. So I think we do have a responsibility to look after others. Mm-hmm. Less well off. Mm-hmm. And how we do that is, you know, up to every individual. You know, I was very lucky to spend 4 years working with street kids in Vietnam and working with an orphanage. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when you do something like that, you get more from it than you actually give. And I think that's a huge thing. And in terms of, no matter what community you're in, there's always opportunities to help somebody, you know, and that makes you feel good. You know, there's a huge feel-good factor out of helping people. So that's important for me. If I can inspire, if I can help somebody in any way, encourage somebody, that's really important. And I think that's why we end up being coaches, because we can get the best out of people, or we really want to get the best out of people. So I suppose they're kind of the values that are important, and just, you know, and being happy, doing taking time out, not getting, you know, not sweating the small stuff. This life is short, so you better bloody enjoy it. You know what I mean? You better, you know. So I think maybe when you lose somebody at a young enough age, it kind of, you know, my mum, when she passed away, I was 29 at the time, so I was relatively young, but I would say I would have had a good perspective of not, like, you know, we have a limited time here on earth, and it's really, really important to enjoy it. So if you're not doing something you enjoy, you better be looking for some alternative, and at least give something a try and not be thinking about it. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'd be afraid if you know, somebody had asked me before, is there anything you're afraid of? And you know, the only thing that I'd ever be afraid of is not living enough, not packing enough into this life that I possibly can. Wow. And other than that, I'm really not afraid. You know, I'll take my chances.
That really resonates, because it's my fear as well, not to live enough at my highest potential. And I can really relate to that. And you said a lot of things, and I will be really happy to translate them later, because there's a lot of brilliant tips for my audience. But one who will be really appreciated for my fellow coaches here in France, people who are willing to help others. You know, as you said, it's important to help others, especially when you're a coach. But these people have trouble receiving money from this, you know.
Okay.
And it was as well at first my problem, one of my problems, that I overcame, but I know a lot of people in my audience are really, you know, they have a talent, whether it is coaching or doing something energetic or anything, but they cannot receive a lot from this. And they are then living in scarcity, and then they cannot develop themselves. So what could you say to these people if you had an advice?
Yeah, you know, I have, you know, I know it's difficult. It can be difficult, and I have been at stages with my company wondering, oh Lord, yeah, the bank account is not looking very healthy, and how much longer can I sustain this? Because although the coaching business is just 2 years, my other business is going 6 years. So, you know, and started during a recession. So I know exactly how they're feeling, that fear. But you really have to believe, and I would have done some of the coaching that I would have done for free. You know, for young people that were in a pilot training college that went bust, and you know, needed a bit of help. And that seems to come back. You know, I think what you give and what you put out there comes back. So I think your mindset is very, very important, that you have to be willing to trust that what you put out there will come back to you. And if you shout it loud enough and believe in it, you know, but I suppose, you know, there is a transitionary period that for some people, maybe they've got another business that allows them to try this. But I just went flat out for this.
Yeah.
You're the same. Yeah.
No, they don't.
They don't.
Actually, the one that I know, they don't. So they struggle every day. And
well then, okay. Well, what I would say is, if they're struggling, they need to, and I can give you an example of this, right? Sometimes when you are very passionate about doing something, and you're so close, like when I started when we developed a pilot psychological assessment, I was so passionate about this because I knew this was pre-Germanwings pilot accident. I knew that we needed to have a pilot selection system, psychological assessment, that took into account depression, and most of the personality assessments didn't do that. And I was so passionate about this, and yet I wasn't getting great feedback from airlines because I'm now a small player. I don't have the big brand behind me.
Okay.
And I you know, I was so driven about it. And because I was so driven and so focused, I wasn't seeing that actually maybe there's another strand of the business that I need to be following. So if I could learn anything, it would be to step back and say, look at, well, actually, you know, because part of my business is training airlines how to implement a competency-based selection system for pilots. But once I train them up, I don't get any repeat business. So it was only when I kind of chilled myself and said, okay, you know, you're just too close to this, too passionate, that I could see the other opportunities. And that's when the well-being, I come up with that concept, because I was doing some coaching anyway. And then I looked at, how do I improve this, and how do I improve it, and how do I test it for scientific validity. And so what I would say to your audience is, take a bit of a step back. If you're, you know what they say, if you continue to do everything in the same way, you're going to, you know, you're just going to end up with the same results.
Exactly.
So, and that was a changer for me, just losing a little bit of that. And when I say passion, it was nearly a defense, you know, a defensiveness. I know what we did is good. I know we've got a good product. Others are not buying into it because they're still, you know, they're still with another product and getting them to change. And I'm a small player and they're used to a big brand behind them. And then I thought, okay, so, you know, once I relaxed a bit, the contracts came in, and, you know, we've exported now into about 22, 23 countries. So that wasn't happening when I was tunnel vision.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was going until my last question, which was what belief did you had to get rid of in order to grow? But you just told me one very clear insight of if you keep doing what you've been always doing, you will keep having the same results. So I think this kind of change your perspective. Yes. Well, thank you very much. I know you. I really want to honor your time, so I will.
Not at all, Claire. No, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna cut the recording.